is everywhere. And we would love you to read along with us. And okay, oh, it's mine. Did you read, Judy? So it's mine. Okay, we're on to another section, the greater joining. I'm going to read the first paragraph. Accepting the atonement for yourself means not to give support to someone's dream of sickness and of death. It means that you share not his wish to separate and let him turn illusions on himself, nor do you wish that they be turned instead on you. Thus have they no effects, and you are free of dreams of pain because you let him be. Unless you help him, you will suffer pain with him because that is your wish, and you become a figure in his dream of pain as he in yours. So do you and your brother both become illusions and without identity. You could be anyone or anything depending on whose evil dream you share. You can be sure of just one thing, that you are evil, for you share in dreams of fear.
Whoa. That's I never recognized before that this is a really good other side of the bookend to that section about false empathy. Don't share in someone else's dream of sickness and death, and don't wish that it be turned on you instead. It's the same idea.
And when he and this is a continuation of what we're saying. So there's a purpose to our dreams. It's to prove that evil is real, that guilt is real, that fear is justified. So until people have turned their consciousness to this new purpose, they're on automatic ego pilot. This is just automatic, and so you're going to be a part of someone's dream of guilt if you don't help them and you don't stand up and not share it. If you just go into a passive position, you can't help. It's just so automatic. We just go into these little. So you need to know we're always here with the help of the Holy Spirit to undo ideas of guilt, whether it's someone else's or yours, in whatever way you're directed to do. Because otherwise you're going to share in this dream, and you don't want it turned on them or you, and it will. You will become. You can be sure of just one thing, that you are evil, for you share in dreams of fear, unless you have this other purpose.
Yeah, that first sentence is really significant. Not to give, the atonement means not to give support to someone's dream of sickness and of death.
And that's our acceptance of the atonement, is not to give support. Yes.
So, okay, I'm going in and out on atonement like I'm going in and out on salvation at times.
Yeah, that's listen, this took years for me to get focused, because I don't know, maybe we purposely, our mind is trying to filter, but atonement, accepting that the truth is true is what it means for yourself, accepting that you really are the Holy Son of God that he says you are, for yourself. To do that means you have to see that they are a Holy Son of God too, so you can't accept their dreams of sickness and of death. If you accept their dreams of sickness and of death, you're not accepting the atonement for yourself, because we're all the same. And so you can't hold them as sick and you as holy. You have to see that you're both the same. So do you remember atonement? Accept the atonement with the truth.
And I really get that. And I guess it's the trick of learning how to mentally do that. Like when my daughter was in so much pain and I was like trying to give her miracle ideas, we had a total clash, and she was absolutely frustrated, and I could understand how I contributed to that after the fact. While I was in it, I thought I was helping her to rise up, but well, what the heck is the right way to do this?
Yes,
you know what
depends
I mean?
on.
You can't just sit and do
No,
like.
you can't. Yes.
Say, well,
It would be lovely if you could just share these ideas, because they're wonderful ideas. The issue is, the reason why we can't is because people are afraid to receive them, because they imply that they're wrong. And we don't like being wrong. And so then it feels like an attack, because what we've chosen is to be sick, and you're saying, no, you could choose this, and it's like, no, I don't want to choose that. So now you're telling me I'm wrong. So, this is why it takes practice, and it's tricky, and you have to follow the guidance of the Holy Spirit. But in the beginning, I didn't know either that these words and these thoughts and ideas would feel like an attack on people. It seemed like a gift because I was receiving so much. It feels like a gift. It made me feel good. I thought, well, here, take this thought. This will make you feel good. And it's like, don't give me that thought. How dare you give me that thought? You are really being unkind and inconsiderate. And, okay.
And attacking.
Yes.
And attacking.
And even Jesus said, and remember, do you remember in the beginning, he said, I was perceived as attacking. Remember? All I was giving was the truth, but the perception of the world was that I was attacking them. He says, because a thought system, when you undermine a thought system, it feels like an attack. So even though that wasn't the truth, and he said, all I did was heal, I got crucified, remember? Because they thought I was attacking them by telling the truth, And he also, remember, because this is what we have to understand when you're doing this, what we hold in our mind is much more powerful than what we say. So we don't have to put so much emphasis on our words. And then we won't get in so much trouble. And Jesus himself, remember, only told parables to the crowds. He did not tell them straight up truth.
He didn't have a telephone, right?
Yeah, he didn't tell, because he knew they would frighten him. So he gave them a watered down version so that they could feel comfortable, that had some truth if they wanted to. If they wanted to, because it was a parable, a story, they had to go in and retrieve the truth. It wasn't direct. He also, and he only told his disciples, a few people, what he really meant, because of the power of our resistance to truth. And he still got in trouble. I'm just saying, this is just what took me time to learn. Everybody who starts this has to go through this. That this straight up is not fun for some people.
We have to be ready to read it in this undiluted form.
Is that what you meant by false empathy? Could you?
There's a section, the first section of chapter 16 is called False Empathy. And it's about agreeing with their sickness. So, oh, you poor thing. And everything that comes out of that, you're in pain, I'm in pain. That's false empathy. It's got the very same ideas as this first paragraph that we just read.
Because you're giving support to the belief that they are really suffering. Now, you can have passion and understanding for their feeling of sufferings, but your mind must realize that this is still their choice, and it's not they're not a victim of some other outside circumstance, because that's what he calls empathizing in strength, because you're also affirming that they have a way out. At the same time, you are acknowledging they don't know they have a way out, because it's not about not being compassionate, it's just not going into the victim, because if we're suffering, it means we've got some kind of victim mentality going on, because that's why we suffer, is to prove guilt is real. So it takes a little time to figure out how to, well, and that's why our first job, rather than to share it with other people and get them on this journey, is to get our feet on the road really strong first. So the first part is just really work on yourself and work on your mind, and then later you'll be guided on how to maybe call in some other people who might want to.
Yeah, I'm very willing to do that. It's up.
And what you want to do, you want to remember this.
We're doing
That people are perceiving themselves being attacked. They are not being attacked by truth. The truth is not attacking them. They're imagining that it's attacking them. Okay, so you don't need to feel guilty about the fact you're giving people truth and they're experiencing it as attack. It's just not effective. So it's better to learn some new maneuvers, but you haven't hurt anybody by telling them the truth. They just think they've been hurt. Like Jesus didn't hurt anybody. And yet, right, they experienced it as hurt, and they still experience it as hurt, but it wasn't hurt.
I think I still have some self-righteousness to clean up, and that might be a catalyst for some of this other stuff too.
That's
So-
I'm sure true, but you want to remember also that even if you were completely non-self-righteous, I don't think Jesus was real self-righteous.
No.
Truth can be perceived as an attack when it's not wanted. And so our job is to carefully listen. Do you want some truth or don't you? If you don't, I'll be quiet, because I'm just going to get myself in trouble. But you're not really attacking people by giving them the truth. It's just not going to be effective. They can't hear it, so it's kind of a waste of time when they're not ready for it.